Hello and welcome. In this video we'll be taking a look at the ship-based cold start procedure in RAZBAM's AV-8B Harrier II. Now it's not too dissimilar to the land-based procedure, just a few minor tweaks, but these are tweaks that you will need to know if you want to get off the deck successfully, I would say. So with that, let's jump into the cockpit. First thing we're going to do is go to the comms menu, select ground crew, ground power, switch that on, and here we will see that the SINS data cable has been connected.
Ground power is now on.
Now we can move to the battery, switch that on, come down, do a lights and advisories check, make sure the lights come on and that you can hear all audibles. So we're going to clear those and go over to the digital engine control system, switch that on, and the fuel shut off to on. Going to do the fuel pumps, left and right, on and on. Next we're going to do a bit on the engine display here, make sure all the lights come on and the warnings are audible. Come down to the fuel panel, set bingo above 4000, so we get the bingo warning and master caution. Going to clear that, come back and set to bit and make sure that the left feed is reading 1400, right feed 2400, totalizer 3800, and make sure the lights are all lit up and the master caution is audible. Set it back to int, set the bingo down to 1000, and then we're going to close the canopy. Now it's time to switch on the APU. And once the APU light comes on the advisory panel there, just that, we will come over to the decks and make a check and make sure that's working properly. We've got all the lights and cautionaries, switch that back on, come down to the EFC and make sure that we get the same with that, switch that back down to the original position 2. Now we can get the engine started, so just flick on the engine start button. And what we're going to do is wait for RPM to reach 3% here, and then we'll push the throttle forward slightly, and then we want the RPMs to settle to between 28.4 and 29%, and the jet pipe temperature should be below 545 degrees. And we can do some other things while we're waiting for that, so we'll switch the radio to transmit, receive and guard. We're going to switch on the both left and right MPCDs with the brightness knobs, the UFC with the brightness knob, and the HUD with brightness knob. Come over to the right MPCD, select engine, and make sure the inlet guide vane is between 31 and 39% idle, and then we're going to come over to the sorted jet pipe temperature, reset it pushing the button there to make sure it's reading the current temperature of the engine. Now it's time to align the INS, so press EHSD on the left MPCD, data, A/C, and now we're going to come to the knob, select one click for ship, clear the caution. As you can see, we're in the C section, and we are currently connected to the deck, but you can come through COM1 or COM2 to align, and the default frequency is 300.000, but we'll come back to deck, and that means we are aligning with the SINS cable, and this will show how far the alignment has gone. Usually takes around about 3 minutes. Switch on dual mode tracker and FLIR. Next we can come up to the UFC, click TACAN, switch that on, tune in 69X, enter for the ship's TACAN, and then I'm going to set the low altitude warning to off so that it doesn't bug me when I go below 500 feet. Test jet pipe temperature limiter, make sure that the lights come on, we get a raise in RPM and temperature, and switch that off. Next we'll want to test the water controls, so what I'm going to do is switch to takeoff, and we'll see a raise in temperature and RPM. We're going to come into neutral, and then we're going to do the same with landing. Again, we'll see a raise in RPM and temperature. going to switch on the flap system, and then we're going to stick it into cruise to make sure that it all aligns and the numbers read correctly, and then down into stow, and we'll see that there's a droop light over here and stow is shown up over here, so we'll keep it in stow for now. Right, let's check the refueling probe. Extend, make sure the ready light comes on, which it has, and then we're going to retract it, make sure it stows away nicely. I'll set the right MPCD to FLIR. It's not ready yet, but it's when it comes online it will show up on the right MPCD. Now, the one thing I don't like about the Harrier is the automatic showing of the rolling map. I know it can be handy for some people, but for me it's just awkward as I can't read anything on the screen with the map on. So we'll wait for the INS to align and I can change that. Double check that the nose wheel steering switch has been switched on and it shows in the HUD, and then we can also check the nose wheel high gain by pushing the button. Right, I believe the INS is aligned. Yep, it says OK there. Come down to the switch and flick it to nav, push data, and then we're going to get rid of this map by clicking map and map again there. There we go, we can actually read everything now. And the FLIR has come online on the right MPCD. Now I'm going to double check everything before I arm my seat. Right, seat is armed. Now, before you can take off on a ship, the ground crew normally show you a tote board, this being a sort of example of one. It's not filled in, and I don't believe you actually get shown any in sim, but what it would normally show is your aircraft number under AC, nozzle. This will be the setting you need to perform your short takeoff. Trim, obvious, set your trim before takeoff. The WT is aircraft weight, and the run will tell you whereabouts on the deck you need to start your run from, and then it will also tell you if it's a wet or a dry takeoff. So these options are normally marked. Now it's time to switch off ground power, so we're going to go to the comms menu and we're going to select ground crew, ground power off.
Turn off the ground power. Copy. Ground power is now off.
Next we want to remove the chocks, so comms menu again, ground crew, chocks, remove.
Remove the wheel chocks. Copy. Wheel chocks are now removed.
Push down the toe brakes, and we're going to remove the parking brake. Then we can make our way out to the takeoff spot. In this case it will be the 450 mark. As I'm lightweight at the moment, I'm carrying very little fuel and no wing stores. So there you have it, that's the ship-based cold start in the RAZBAM AV-8B Harrier II. Obviously the aircraft's not set up to actually take off at the moment, as well. Normally, as I say, you'd have a tote board which would give you all your information and where you need to go on deck. As I said, I'm lightweight, I'm just at the 450 mark, so I hope that's helped, and as always, take care and I'll see you in the next one.